Welcome to CBS Sports HQ's NBA mock draft. I'm Chris Hassel. We are about 2 months to the draft and about 1 month to the draft lottery, with the Rockets, Pistons, and Magic having the best chances to grab that #1 pick. Now, for the purposes of our mock, just going to go overall record. So the Rockets are going to get the first pick, followed by the Pistons. Then you have the Orlando Magic there. In Orlando, the one team that has multiple top 10 picks in our draft. They also have the 10th overall pick via Chicago, thanks to that trade before the trade deadline. Our mock GMs are Gary Parrish, host of the Eye on College Basketball podcast, and Travis Branham, national basketball analyst for 24/7 Sports. And Travis is going to start us off. The Houston Rockets drafting #1. Travis?
Yeah, with the first pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Houston Rockets will select Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. The Houston Rockets have the worst record in the NBA and are in the beginning stages of a rebuild. And lucky for them, drafting at that #1 spot, having a prospect like Cade Cunningham right there for the taking, makes for a home run pick. Cade not only provides a talent level that's going to have a high impact at the NBA level with his decision making and playmaking, but he also brings winning intangibles that you can really build around, especially in that locker room that's just so valuable in these early stages of a rebuild. Cade stands 6'7". He's defensively versatile. And again, he has that decision making and winning intangibles that will just continue to provide a floor for the Houston Rockets to build on for the years to come.
All right, so the Rockets taking Cade Cunningham, the beginning of what could be a long rebuild. At #2, we have the Detroit Pistons, who are, their fans hope, at the end of a long rebuild, but it seems like there are some more years to go here, Gary. Who are you going with at #2 for Detroit?
With the second pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select JALEN SUGGS out of Gonzaga. You know, at this point, the Pistons should be just taking best prospect available, and in my opinion, that is JALEN SUGGS, just barely over Evan Mobley. He obviously made a name for himself in the NCAA tournament by leading a Gonzaga team that was undefeated at the time to a Final Four win over UCLA with that buzzer beater that we'll be watching as a highlight for decades to come. He's an incredible athlete, famously starred in both basketball and football in high school. He's great in transition. He's a real competitor, a real winner. Like, you talk to Mark Few or anybody on that Gonzaga staff about it, they've got nothing but great things to say. Even though he was always projected as a one and done, he did not go to Gonzaga and try to take over that team. He just blended in and was happy to be a part of it. Now, he does need to improve his jump shot, but that's basically the case for most one and done lead guards. There's no reason to think he can't, and if he does, we are talking about a future all-star lead guard that the Pistons would be glad to have at this point in the draft.
All right, moving on to #3, and it's the Orlando Magic. So far, it's gone according to plan because Cade Cunningham is our #1 ranked prospect and JALEN SUGGS is #2. Evan Mobley is our #3 ranked prospect. Travis, who are you going with Orlando's #1 overall pick?
With the third pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic will select Evan Mobley out of the University of Southern California. The Magic here could go one of two ways, with Mobley or with a guy like Jalen Green. For me personally, the next person on my board is Evan Mobley. He just has an elite floor as a prospect. He stands 7 foot tall with a 7'4" wingspan. He's a tremendous athlete who runs the floor with ease. And on the defensive end of the floor, he is elite. He's a great rim protector. He can switch out onto the perimeter. And then on the offensive end, he's got that budding skill set that you're starting to see with his ball skills. He can stretch it out and make a shot from 15 feet. And in time, there's a chance that he can start making those three-point jumpers. He just possesses an elite floor, and he's going to provide a staple player for the Orlando Magic.
All right, one and done college players, 1, 2, 3 so far in our mock draft. At #4, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Back to Gary.
With the fourth pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Jalen Green from the G League Ignite. This is a 6'5" guard who can really score. He was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. Could have basically gone to college wherever he wanted to. Decided to take a check, go to the G League, and he did nothing with that Ignite program to damage his so-called NBA stock. Again, he's a guard with size who projects as a real scorer at the NBA level because of his ability to drive and finish, but he can also consistently knock down a jumper. Now, he's got the size and length and wingspan and athleticism to be a plus defender as well, if he commits to it. Hasn't committed to it yet. That's still a work in progress, but there's almost no doubt that if nothing else, he's going to be able to score effectively, probably immediately in the NBA, and obviously having a guard who can go get buckets when you need a bucket is of huge value in that league.
All right, let's move on to the Oklahoma City Thunder here, picking at 5 in our mock draft. Many first-round picks in years to come. In fact, I think they are slated to have multiple first-round picks for each of the next 6 drafts. Travis, who are they taking at 5?
Yeah, with the 5th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder will select Jonathan Kuminga out of the G League Ignite program. In any other draft, Jonathan Kuminga would most likely go in that top 3. And this year, with it being so loaded, he falls to that number 5 and makes for a home run selection for the Thunder. He is arguably the most naturally talented prospect in this class. He is just oozing with upside. He could be an elite defender and rebounder, and he is an outstanding slasher in the half court when he is being aggressive off the bounce. He's also an underrated passer, and his jump shot is continuing to improve. He still has a ways to go, but is showing some positive signs of improvement there.
All right, status quo so far, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's exactly how we have them ranked on CBSSports.com. At number 6, we have the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is a pick from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Gary, you're making the selection.
With the 6th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select Scottie Barnes out of Florida State University. Chris, first to your point, reasonable people can disagree on the top 5 picks in this draft in some order. Maybe you like Suggs more than you like Cade Cunningham, vice versa. But those 5 players we just named with the first 5 picks probably should and will be the first 5 guys selected. And then you start, really opening up things here. Let me be clear. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I'm probably trying to package this pick along with James Wiseman to get a veteran who can help Steph and Clay and Draymond try to be true championship contenders again next season. But if they execute the pick, Scottie Barnes makes a lot of sense. This is a 6'8", 6'9" combo forward in the NBA who can reasonably be expected and asked to switch 1 through 5. So that's a real valuable thing in the NBA among combo forwards or even centers, when you can switch onto smaller players and not get exposed. Scottie Barnes has the ability to do that. He's a really gifted offensive player in the sense that he can play multiple positions. He will not be a point guard in the NBA, but he did initiate offense at some times when he was on the court for Leonard Hamilton Seminoles. So that, again, underlines the type of skill set we're talking about here. Just a really intriguing prospect, smart player, plays hard. He's going to be in the NBA for a long time.
And again, as Gary said, might be looking to package that pick and try to get some veteran help, because the Golden State Warriors next season are going to be hoping to jump back into that championship picture once more. Moving down to number 7, and it's the Toronto Raptors, who were the champions just a couple of years ago. But Travis probably going into the offseason thinking this is it for Kyle Lowry. He's going to be a free agent, likely moving on.
Yeah, with the 7th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Toronto Raptors will select Davion Mitchell out of Baylor to replace Kyle Lowry if he does opt to get out of Toronto. Davion Mitchell helped himself more than anybody else in the month of March. He is an elite on-ball defender with outstanding instincts and anticipation on that end. He's very quick. He's got an elite burst of speed on the offensive end of the floor. He's very difficult to contain off the bounce. He can score from all 3 levels, and he's also a great passer with vision. Just a high-floor point guard prospect that can impact winning at the next level.
Moving on in the lottery here and to the New Orleans Pelicans, Gary, who in the first 2 seasons with Zion Williamson have come just short of making the postseason.
With the 8th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select James Bouknight out of the University of Connecticut. This is where I think this draft starts to drop off a little bit. I really like the first 7 players we have selected, and then you could go a variety of ways. But I like Bouknight in the sense that you could put him on the wing, and he's just a straight bucket getter. I mean, he really has a great first step, really knows how to get to the rim, finishes at a high level around the rim. You know, he is probably one of, if not the best shot creator in this draft, you know, and can put up big numbers. Evidence being that he got 40 points, you know, in this past season in a really competitive, but lost a really competitive game against Creighton. And so this is somebody that could play with Zion and help him carry the scoring load while Zion does a million other things. You know, Book Knight's got some things he needs to improve on. That's why he's not a consensus top 5 pick, but I do think he'll be able to score from the wing in the NBA, and I think he'll be able to do it very, very quickly.
Okay, that's the Pelicans at 8. Moving on to number 9, the Sacramento Kings. Travis has the pick.
With the 9th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings will select Keon Johnson out of Tennessee. Keon Johnson is oozing with defensive upside. He's 6'5", he's strong, he's tough, he's competitive, and is an explosive athlete. And while he provides that on the defensive end of the floor going into that next level, he's also an underrated offensive player, something that not many people got to see at the University of Tennessee this year. He's got better ball skills than he got to show this year. He can get into the lane. He's also a good passer. His jump shot still has a ways to go, but that floor as a defender, coupled with his slashing ability on the offensive end, lands him in my top 10 and at that number 9 spot with the Kings.
Okay, and he is our 6th ranked prospect. Gary was saying that, you know, top 5 is pretty much set. Might be a little bit different order, but there's a drop-off from 5 to 6, and Keon Johnson is ranked number 6, but goes number 9 to the Kings in our mock. Moving on to finish out the top 10 to the Magic, Gary, and already having Evan Mobley in tow with the 3rd pick. Who do you have them going with at 10?
With the 10th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Moses Moody out of the University of Arkansas. Orlando could obviously use a lot of things, but they could really use a 3-and-D wing, and Moses Moody is the best available here in my opinion. You know, he shot a respectable percentage from three-point range and averaged 17 points and 6 rebounds for an Arkansas team that made the Elite 8 of the NCAA tournament, you know, for the first time since 1996. Now, he did not have a great NCAA tournament, and that turned some people off a little bit, but I'm more interested in focusing on the big picture, the entire season, rather than, you know, what he did in, you know, a span of 4 games. And his total season, if you look at it from start to finish, was really, really good. He was expected to be among Arkansas's best players as a true freshman, and he was. This is somebody who I think projects positively as a longtime NBA player and would fit, again, well in Orlando.
All right, that closes out the top 10. Now moving into teams that made the play-in tournament this season in the NBA, beginning with the Charlotte Hornets at number 11. Travis?
Yeah, with the 11th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets will select Isaiah Jackson out of the University of Kentucky. It was a bit of an up-and-down season for Isaiah Jackson, but he possesses tremendous physical tools and upside for an NBA organization to really work on and build on. He stands nearly 6'11". He's long. He's a great athlete, lightning quick off his feet, possesses tremendous bounce off the floor, great hands and touch. His offensive skill set still has a ways to go. His feel for the game still has a ways to go. But those physical tools you just can't teach, and getting him into the NBA organization with NBA coaching, you can really work with a player like that to have a high-level impact in the NBA.
Overall ranked number 23, but he goes number 11 to the Hornets in our mock draft. Gary, the Spurs at 12.
With the 12th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Trey Mann out of the University of Florida. You know, San Antonio finished 24th in three-point field goal percentage as a team this season in the NBA, and none of their top 3 scorers, including 2 guards, shot even 35% from 3. So the Spurs could obviously add some shooting, and Trey Mann is a tremendous shooter. He was above 40% from 3 on nearly 5 attempts per game this season. And San Antonio really likes to play 4 out, 1 in, often on offense, and just attack. That's how they're able to be good despite not shooting the ball well from the perimeter. And Tre Mann has a tremendous floater game that would fit in well with that. So this is a situation where I think whether you're looking for best prospect available or a real fit, Tre Mann makes a lot of sense for Greg Popovich's San Antonio Spurs.
Just a couple more here in the draft lottery. The Pacers are up at number 13. Travis making the selection.
With the 13th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, the Indiana Pacers will select Corey Kispert out of Gonzaga. Shooting is the name of the game, and Corey Kispert provides just that. He connected on over 44% from three this season, but he provides more than just shooting. He's a capable rebounder and defender for his position. He stands 6'7". So with those tools and those attributes, he's going to provide a valuable piece in the NBA just with his ability to stretch the floor and then rebound on the defensive end, get out, run the wing, and make shots.
All right, and that brings us to 14, and the Memphis Grizzlies, who hit it out of the park with Ja Morant, now moving on and looking to move further into the postseason in years to come. Gary, who do you have them taking at 14?
With the 14th pick, the 2021 NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Jaden Springer out of the University of Tennessee. You know, the Grizzlies front office is really focused on analytics, and that suggests that Jaden Springer is exactly the type of prospect they would be interested in. This is a young man who is still only 18 years old, won't turn 19 till September, and as a freshman at Tennessee for a team that was ranked most of the season, he shot 47% from the field and above 40% from three-point range, playing off the ball for Rick Barnes-Vols. Again, he's still only 18 years old, so there is a lot of room for growth there. And the Grizzlies have it pretty much locked up at the 1-4-5 right now. They are looking probably for 2 threes, and so Jaden Springer isn't just a terrific prospect in general, but possibly a good fit in terms of what they need to take that next step with Ja Morant leading the way.
So those are your lottery picks. Cade Cunningham going number 1 to Houston, followed by Jalen Suggs to Detroit. Evan Mobley to the Magic, who had 2 top 10 picks in our mock. Mobley 3, Moses Moody at 10. And again, the draft lottery is coming up in about a month. So we're going just based on win percentage, on record from this past season. Now moving on to 15 through 21, where the Knicks have a couple of picks here. Wizards taking Marcus Bagley at 15. Warriors taking Zaire Williams at 17. But let's get to the New York Knicks, who had a great season this year, the 4 seed in the East. Travis, take us through your picks, which to some might be a little bit surprising based on the individual rankings of the guys you have them taking.
Yeah, I actually believe that both David Johnson and Josh Christopher are a bit underrated going in to these later stages of the draft process. David Johnson is 6'5", so he possesses very good size for a point guard prospect. He's long, he's sneakily athletic, if you will. He's also a great passer with terrific vision. His jump shot has continued to improve while at Louisville. His ability to just make plays and make the right decisions on the offensive end of the floor, I find valuable. And then with Josh Christopher, from the grassroots level, Josh has always been one of the best scorers for his age group. He is 6'5", 6'6". He's an explosive athlete. He just flat out knows how to put the ball in the hole. And yes, his jump shot has to improve from beyond the stripe, but with his work ethic, his competitiveness, and with his drive, I believe that he is going to continue to develop and then will make a steal, especially if it's later on in that first round. He's going to provide a valuable piece that can just flat out give buckets. And also, he's a great defender when he wants to be. All
right, let's look at the end of the draft here with the Houston Rockets having a couple of picks there, 1 at 22, 1 at 24. We're going to talk about those in a moment. We're also going to talk about the Lakers taking Josh Giddey. Now, right now, they're slated for 23. Obviously, that's going to change depending on how far they go in the postseason. And then Jalen Johnson wrapping things up for the Utah Jazz at 30. So, Gary, you had both of the Rockets picks. 22 is from Portland. 24 is from Milwaukee. They already took Cade Cunningham. Take us through your picks here late in the first round.
I used one pick on Chris Duarte out of Oregon and the other on Franz Wagner out of Michigan. We'll talk Wagner first. He projects as a 3-and-D wing who just really understands how to play. he didn't shoot a good percentage from three in either year at Michigan, but when you watch him play, there's no reason to think that he can't become a very good, if not high-level shooter. There's nothing broken there. It just has to be tinkered with a bit and obviously get better. But you know, somebody with incredible defensive instincts and again just knows how to play, knows how to pass. He makes a lot of sense. Put a skilled 3-and-D guy next to Cade Cunningham, you got something special, perhaps. The other player, Chris Duarte, is a former National Junior College Player of the Year who was terrific in this last season at Oregon. Shot above 40% from three on 5.5 attempts per game. So he's a high volume three-point shooter and made them at an incredible rate. Simply put, I'm not bothered by his age at all. He's 23 years old already. That's going to turn some front offices off. But I think when you start passing on people because they're already 22 or 23, especially if they've shown themselves to be NBA caliber players, you tend to make a mistake. Like, what's the worst thing in the world about having a 23-year-old rookie if he's contributing to you right away? That is what Chris Duarte can do, and the Rockets, you know, if he were to end up there, I think would be happy with that outcome.
Rockets had picks 22 and 24, sandwiched right in between there. The LA Lakers at number 23. Travis, you have them taking a relatively unknown player because he didn't play college basketball. He's not from the United States. Tell us about Josh Giddey.
Yeah, from the time he was about a junior in high school, he emerged onto the national scene here in the United States, playing with the NBA Global Academy, actually, who would travel over here to play. But since then, he's always been a very intriguing prospect. He's 6'7" and has an elite feel for the game. He has great vision and is a great facilitator. He can pass over the top of the defense, just knows how to make the right reads and the right decisions. Now, the question is, what does he defend at the NBA level? And I think that's still an unknown and won't be known until he gets into an NBA organization. But he is an outstanding passer with outstanding vision. He just makes the right plays, and his jump shot is projectable. It's continued to improve. And he's shown that he is already a capable shooter, but will continue to get better there.
All right, Travis, Gary, thank you so much. This is our mock draft from CBS Sports HQ. More to come. We still have the lottery coming in about a month and the draft still 2 months away. But in our latest mock, and again, we don't know the order yet. We're just going based on win percentages on record over the past season. The Rockets getting 3 first-round picks. The first overall pick, Cade Cunningham, followed by JALEN SUGGS and Evan Mobley. Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.